Hello YouTube, my name is Dave. My channel is titled Draven Swiftbow, and I thought I'd start making some actual videos for the channel. Eventually I plan on doing like some Let's Plays of video games, stuff like that, but in the meantime I wanted to focus mostly on my major hobby, the one that I enjoy the most, and that's tabletop role-playing, particularly the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game. And just for the first video, I thought I would just show off the collection of things that I have before getting into any sorts of reviews on the items. So on the table here is just some kind of odds and ends, different things here. So we got some DVDs and the video game there for the GameCube, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. The Dragonlance animated movie, Scourge of Worlds, which was the kind of choose-your-own-adventure type of interactive DVD. The good Dungeons & Dragons movie, Wrath of the Dragon God, and then the 1980s animated series for the D&D cartoon. This DVD set actually came with a handbook there, animated series handbook, which has all of the characters from the show with their stats and their items and things of that nature. It's kind of cool. And it also includes an adventure using monsters out of the monster manual there, so it's kind of a neat thing. And this over here, just a couple of the special editions of dice that were released. This is the one for the D&D Essentials line for 4th edition, and the 3.5 30th anniversary dice with the Blackguard picture there, which is always kind of neat. And some modules. Some old school ones. So there is Keep on the Borderlands, Ghost Tower of Inverness, and Ravenloft, which are all pretty classic. Over here, just a couple of map packs. They came out for the 4th edition of the game, but they're just maps. They can be used by anybody. This one here is Haunted Temples and then Vaults of the Underdark. So there's 3 maps in each one. Double-sided, so you get 6 maps total. And just some extra from my 4th edition collection. I just have a spare player's handbook. I try to have an extra one for players, along with the races books for the Dragonborn and the Tieflings. Similar to that, I just have a couple of extra 2nd edition books, the player's handbook and the Dungeon Master's Guide. And my most recent acquisition is the original D&D books. So this is 0E, came out in 1974 in just a box, not even hardcovers, so these are extremely difficult to come by, so I was really happy to get these finally. And next I'll show you the books on my actual shelf, as well as all my magazines and stuff like that, so we'll just go over and do that now. Alright, so here we are at the start of my collection. First thing I just want to point out is my 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Monsters Compendium, which is just a binder, which is how they originally released it. So it wasn't actually a hardcover book, just the binder with some black and white art. And then here we have all of my magazines from Dungeon Magazine and Dragon Magazine. I started buying towards the end of 3rd edition and got all through 3.5 up until they discontinued both of them. And just a few folders just with some maps, the green one there, some adventure stuff that I had done, character sheets, stuff like that, and a few box sets. So I got the Council of Worms, Ravenloft, and Bleak House, which was a Ravenloft adventure. Now over here is my 1st edition collection, so I got the core books. The only book I'm actually missing, as far as I can tell from the 1st edition line, is the Manual of the Planes. And this one here, the Deities and Demigods, is actually the version that contains the Cthulhu mythos, so it's incredibly rare to find these. Over here I got my 2nd edition books there, the reprints from 2013, along with the Monsters Manual. Got the reprints there. I was looking to actually run it. We were going through a series of games where I'd run 4th, we played some 3rd, a friend of mine ran some 1st, and I was going to run another campaign there for 2nd, so we're going to try to encompass all of them, but never got around to it where I moved. And some other books here, Faith and Avatars, Powers and Pantheons, and some Planescape books for 2nd edition. And then 3rd edition. Hero Builder's Guide books, Stronghold Builder's Guide, core books, Epic Level Handbook, Savage Species, Arms and Equipment, and the Deities and Demigods for 3rd edition, which is actually kind of disappointing, but there you go. Got the 3rd edition adventure game, as well as some 2nd edition supplement books, Complete Book of Dwarves, and the one underneath it's the one for mages. I have the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game for the D20 system, some Pathfinder stuff, the Dragon Compendium from Paizo Publishing, Volume 1, even though that's the only volume they released, Major's Handbook, and a copy here of a game called Alma Mater. It's a high school role-playing game actually made by a friend of mine. He did that back in the 1980s. On the Dragon Age role-playing game, sets 1 and 2, I have the Blood and Ferelden and the Game Master set contained in the boxes as well, and the basic game for 3.5. Now my settings. So I've got Forgotten Realms, the DM screen, 3rd edition, and then all the 4th edition books for it. Some adventures, and then the different supplements. As well as my Eberron collection here, the DM screen, some adventures, the settings themselves for 3rd and 4th edition, and the different supplements that came out with that as well for 3.5. I got the Dragonlance settings here, as well as Kingdoms of Kalamar, and up top here I have the Stealth and Style supplement. The Shackled City Campaign Path, which was done by Paizo Publishing. It's a complete 1 through 20 level campaign, released in Dungeon Magazine originally. So, as well as some other adventures here, Red Hand of Doom, Shattered Gates of Slaughtergrade. As well, and then we're up to 3.5, so I have the 2012 reprints. DM screens in there, although it's kind of hard to see right now. And then the different monster manuals, Races series, have all those books. The Complete series, which I stopped at after Complete Mage. Didn't get Complete Champion. Didn't really care for the books too much after Complete Psionic, which was really good, but Scoundrel was really disappointing, and Mage was, kind of take it or leave it. Planar handbooks, some source books here for the different types of settings, Stormrack for ocean settings, and then Cityscape and Dungeonscape. The Draconomicon, which was an amazing book, 3.5. The much more disappointing Libris Mortis. Undead are some of my favorite monsters, and I was kind of disappointed by the way that one turned out. But Lords of Madness definitely made up for it. If you want to know how beholders give birth, it's in this book, and it's really gross. Hordes of the Abyss, Tyrants of the Nine Hells, again, really good books. Tyrants of the Nine Hells has a really awesome story there at the beginning with Osmodius and how he became the Lord of the Nine Hells, so that's really cool. Then Drow the Underdark, got the Compendium books, Spell and Magic Item. And then there's the settings books here for the Heroes of Battle, which is like a war setting, Heroes of Horror, which is, well, self-explanatory. And then there's the alternate system books for Psionics, which is a really good book, Magicum Incarnum, which I actually really like. It's kind of a way of replacing magic items. Weapons of Legacy allows you to get really powerful weapons into the hands of players early on, and then they have to unlock their powers. Tome of Magic, which were alternate magic systems. They're interesting, but I never actually got around to employing any of them. Book of Nine Swords is kind of a supplement to the Weapons of Legacy. Dragon Magic, and then there's the Book of Vile Darkness and Exalted Deeds, and the Expedition books. So I got the first two, Castle Ravenloft and the Demonwood Pips. And now my 4th edition collection, starting with the D&D Essentials line. There's the Red Box Starter Set, which actually has the original basic D&D artwork on the cover. The 2 Heroes book, the Players books. Dungeon Master's Kit, which is a really nice set, the Monster Vault, and I'll do a review for all these books at some point. And there's the DM screen for 4th edition, Player's Handbooks, and the different types of Player's Guide, the options books, the equipment books, DMGs, Monster Manuals, Monster Vault, Threats to the Nentier Veil, Demonomicon, which is a nice one. Open Grave, which I actually like better than Libris Mortis.